base. Truth don't hide, it just waits for a face, for a face. Big footprints in a pine slick path. Bob Lazar files with a government laugh. Court dates lost in a sea of red tape. We ain't 10-4, we just stay awake. True crime tales in a borrowed voice. We speak for the silence, not by choice. Got boots on the dirt and eyes on the skies, digging up stories they hoped would die. Might, truth, and thunder, we don't back down. With a Bible in the glove box and boots on the ground. Aliens, lies, and backroom deals. We break that silence, 'cause the soul feels real. Military broadcast, midnight run, teaching vets how to speak what the war's done. From trigger pulls to microphone stands, from combat zones to healing hands. Public records, missing names, unsealed files, classified games. We chase what's buried, not what trends, and we pray for light at the truth's deep end. Might, truth, and thunder, we don't back down. With a Bible in the glove box and boots on the ground. Aliens, lies, and backroom deals. We break that silence, 'cause the soul feels Some chase fame, we chase the facts. Some fold quick, we read the tracks. It ain't paranoia if it's always been there, and we ain't scared to lay it bare. Into the storm. We ain't perfect, but we were made for this form.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Weeds podcast. I'm Amber.
And I'm Laura. And then we also have
Millennial. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hey. So we are here to talk about CrimeCon. I hope everybody has had a very blessed week, have, done something good, and so we're just going to we're going to be here talking about what we experienced this week.
Yeah, it's been a long
we
week.
had a lot. All exhausted, but we had a lot of fun, and it was really refreshing how many people were receptive to our information and what we had to say, because all of us kept expecting pushback, and there was so little, hardly any at all.
And what little pushback we did have, as soon as I just showed them one or two things and we just explained it just a little bit more, they're all kind of like, oh. And very few people even had a positive opinion of Gypsy to begin with, even the ones that thought that she was, that the whole story was pretty much true.
Yeah.
So,
was that your experience, Colonial?
Yeah.
Definitely. People tended to go to right away, well, I don't approve of the murder, and I think your sentence was a joke, but, the Munchausen by proxy, that was a bad deal. And we'd follow up with, well, if we have information here where it seems like that might not have been all it was cracked up to be. We're not finding in the medical records we have that the Blanchards released to the public, or released to someone who released them to the public. We're not finding evidence that Dee Dee actually medical abused her. What we're finding is that Dee Dee said more things than were really happening in order to get more things for Gypsy from charities. And it was like a light bulb, a switch would flip in their eyes. Oh my God, do tell, where can I see more of this information?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. I mean, nobody had a positive thing to say about her, which was interesting, because I really thought that, like Laura said, we would get a lot more pushback, and we had no idea that book was even up for an award when we got there.
I think it was the night after we had set up, and it was right before CrimeCon in the morning, and we're like, shit.
Yeah, I found out the day before too.
We're like,
And
oh, she showed up.
yeah, so, I just mentally prepared for the idea in my mind that there would likely be a lot of Gypsy supporters there who would be like, "What are you even doing?" Kind of thing. And I was just mentally prepared to talk to them, but that really wasn't what happened. Most everyone we talked to also was shocked that her book was there. And I think,
Mhm.
Laura, you talked to one lady who had just bought her book.
Yeah, I talked to somebody who had just bought the book, and she didn't tell me that until about 15 minutes into the conversation. So I just kind of was telling her about the whole thing, and I made it very clear that we're not trying to necessarily destroy Gypsy Rose. We're just trying to like make the narrative very clear of what did and didn't happen based on facts and evidence.
Mhm.
But she was just like, wow, she was really surprised by all the stuff that I was laying out for her. And she's like, well, I'm still going to read the book, but I'm glad that I know what's really going on now. And I'm kind of upset that I spent that money on it. So you kind of came up with a cool idea that you and
Yeah.
I executed.
Oh yeah, we did do a little activism. And crap, I just blanked out.
No, sorry.
You're fine. There was a detail I wanted to say. Give me a minute.
No, you're good.
Yeah, but as far as the book situation went, you and I with our little activism,
Yeah.
I don't know if that was what you were thinking about, but we decided to go up and we took some of the pamphlets and we put them inside of her books where they were for sale in the merch store.
We did do that. I do have.
And she got 1970 to take a video of it kind of from afar. We were trying to be slick about it. And I'm like,
Yeah. And like you were saying, millennial, I was preparing myself for somebody to come to the table and actually like have a real challenging discussion. And we did have some challenging discussions as far as like, or not challenging, but we had real conversations with these people. We spent all day, every day there talking pretty much. We did not go to any of the breakout sessions except for one. We stayed there about 10 minutes and I started falling asleep. So not because it was boring, but because I had been on all day, every day.
Yeah.
And so when I sat down in the dark, I was ready to go to sleep.
I'm ready to go to sleep.
Oh, I remembered what I was going to say. Laura said, y'all made it clear that, your goal is not to destroy Gypsy. And a few people did ask, what's the point? They were knowledgeable about law. They're true crime fans. So they read up on things and they know it's not likely that she could be retried or anything like that, or actually go back to prison unless she reoffends. And so I always made clear that our point is we're concerned about her influence and the fact that she was able to get out and immediately become an influencer, not only on social media, but with her lifetime deals. And that we want to get the real narrative out there so that that doesn't happen. And then we also brought up how kids and teenagers have posted on TikTok, Gypsy, we understand why you did it. And there's a real concern about kids being influenced by this. And I talked to Mike King, who
is a lovely human being.
Wonderful, wonderful man. He was involved in the takedown of Warren Jeffs of the FLDS. And I made the point to a lot of people because I went to more sessions than Amber and Alora did. And Mike King's was one of them. And I then also met him with the meet and greet. Me too, jerky girl.
I know, right?
And I asked Mike King if there has ever been an instance of one of the abused children in the FLDS murdering their parents to get away. And he said, none.
Yeah.
Not a single one. And so I found that very, very interesting. I'm going to do a whole video on that later. But yeah, I didn't mean to ramble on so long, y'all.
Oh, no, not at all.
No, I mean, I really liked Mike. And so in real life, I'm very serious, and I guess I come across that online as well. I'm not sure, but I didn't have a lot of time to actually talk to any content creators or, media or whatever. So what I did is Saturday night, I just decided before, everybody set up shop, I left the booth and I just started going down the row of content creators and trying to find people to talk to. And Millie the Mermaid, thank you so much. And Widowmaker, Warrior, and Cherokee Girl, you guys, thank you so much.
We appreciate you guys.
You do not have to do that, but we thank you very much. Yeah, so what I did is I just kind of, not a photo bomb, but I kind of bombed them all really quickly.
Okay.
And I was just like, hey, my name is Amber Deeds from Into the Weeds podcast on Military Broadcast Radio. And I had my little flash drives with me and my business card. And I just, handed them to them or laid them on the table. And I was like, we're trying to correct the media narrative on Gypsy Rose. In our opinion, we believe that she is a scammer and a con artist. And we believe that the story that's been told is not true. And so we have prepared for you these flash drives so you can actually look at the information yourselves.
Who were some of the content creators and organizations that you reached out to?
Yeah, so I can't remember everybody, but the first person I gave it to was Fox News, and they looked at me like a deer in headlights.
No, not phone news.
Yeah, they were the only ones who were just like shocked when I came up to them, and they didn't know how to say anything or what to say, and they just said, okay, thank you. And so then I saw Scott Reich, I think, he's a lawyer on YouTube. Mike King could not take the flash drive, but I did give him the QR code for the Google Drive because he still has a top security clearance, so he can't put anything like that in his computers.
Understandable.
Yeah, and then and he's a very lovely person, and I would have really liked to have spent more time with him, but I felt like I needed to get back to the booth, so I didn't spend a lot of time conversing. Let's see, who else? You gave one to Annie Elise, or someone gave one to Annie? No, I gave one to Annie Elise. Actually, I did.
I gave Annie Elise the QR code to the website and talked to her, and then you took her a flash drive and stuff because I didn't have it on hand at the time.
Yeah. Okay. So I took one to her. You took one to Crime Weekly.
Yeah. So I actually got to speak to Derek Levasseur. He was on Big Brother. I think he's on a TV show right now with maybe even like Gabby Petito's parents.
Yeah, something like that.
And he also does Crime Weekly, and he's super cool. I've been aware of him for years now, and he happened to just kind of be by himself. So me and one of our awesome subscribers, Lenny, which we want to give a super shout out to her. She made a bunch of cool pens for us to sell for. Awesome. She was so cool.
Yes.
And she gave us like the coolest pens. They're upstairs. Maybe I'll show them on a community post or something like that. But she made them for us to sell for donations for NPR. So that was super cool. But her and I went over there, and I just had a normal conversation with the guy. He's pretty down to earth. And OT, you can't get underneath my dress. Sorry, he's pawing at me. So anyway, yeah, it was like super cool. We talked a little bit of shit about Fancy. And then he at first thought that I was actually pro Gypsy, and he took the flash drive. He's like, "You're not pro Gypsy, are you?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Good, because if you were, I was going to." And then he threw it on the ground and he pretended to stomp on it. And then we just talked about it. And who knows what's going to come of it. But I told him, I was like, you look at it, give it to Stephanie. It has all of the stuff from the Google Docs on it. So it's like it's a pretty good resource.
Yeah.
And then Millennial and I also went over and we talked to the people at I almost said Crime Weekly again, at Law and Crime Network. So we got it to Jesse Weber, and he said he was going to give it to his producer, and he was actually very thankful for it. So,
and then I went over to, let's see, Mile Higher. I gave them one, and then I gave Sherilyn Dell and Cece Suarez. I cannot remember her name. Sorry. And they have a podcast. I cannot remember what it's called, but it's something about talking about content creators and stuff like that, and drama on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. I can't remember what it is, but they actually, Sherilyn Dale also does she has her own YouTube channel, and she talks about true crime. And then Rachel Shannon. I gave her one, and there's also a
Did
woman.
you say something about Vinnie Politan?
Oh yeah, Vinnie Politan. Yeah, so he was up there. Thank you, Jenna. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, Vinny, he was all over the place. Like he was just all over talking and
all weekend.
Yeah, and so I just caught him while he was sitting down, and there just happened to be nobody there, and I just, said, "Hey, I want to correct the media narrative, like I told you guys." And he took that flash drive, and he's like, "I'll take that," and he put it right in his backpack, and he's like, "Thank you."
That's so awesome. I had
Yeah.
the same experience as Laura did with Derek with a lot of the bigger content creators. As soon as I said, "Do you have any interest in talking about the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case?" they got a very apprehensive look and said, "Where are you at on it?" Or, something along those lines. And I'd say, well, we think that there's a lot more to the story than what's been shown, and that everything that she's told us is completely wrong. We've seen evidence that it seems to indicate that the Munchausen by proxy story may not be correct. It might have just been a financial con with no actual medical abuse of a child. And they would be like, "Oh, I'm so glad. I thought you were going to be a Gypsy stan." Almost every time.
Yeah.
And then they would teach the information. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how everything went. Even the people that came up, it was like they were really apprehensive at first, and they're like, "Oh, thank God, I thought you were pro Gypsy."
I even had.
Oh, I'm sorry, Laura. I think we've got more people in the chat now than before, and they're wondering about the book being nominated. Did we I can't remember because we did so much stuff. Did we verify that the books could be self-nominated by the author? I can't remember if we looked it up or not.
Yeah, I actually somebody told me that at CrimeCon, and then I believe somebody did a video on it while we were out. And yeah, so from everything I understand, it seems to be kind of like how Meghan Markle goes and buys awards and nominations and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. So when I found that out, I just about died laughing. I was like, "Oh my gosh, one more thing to connect Megan and Gypsy together."
And we all got on the CrimeCon thing a little late, so we just had like standard passes and stuff like that. So we didn't end up attending the Clue Awards, which is the exact award ceremony that her book was up for. But from subscribers and friends that were there, it seems like it might have been all crickets whenever they announced Gypsy's name. Like everybody else got like standing ovations and applause and woo, but it was like just completely silent whenever they said something about Gypsy. So
yeah, I got a message that someone was willing to buy a ticket if I would go film that award, but those awards, from everything I looked up, those were only available to the higher level passes, which were sold out when all of us decided to go.
Yeah, they were sold out, and plus, I kind of just wanted to experience CrimeCon in its raw form. Like, I wanted to just see what it was all about because, I had never been, and I honestly, to be honest, I was very curious how it was going to go because part of me was kind of afraid that this was going to be glorifying true crime, like being weird about it. And thankfully it was not. For the most part, everybody was there to really come together to learn about new cases, to cover, to solve. And so that was a good thing. I'm glad I stayed in the trenches, so to speak, and really talked to a lot of the people who were there on the ground level getting things done and stuff like that. I mean, even as far as, coordinators and stuff for CrimeCon would come up and talk to us. And so,
and
yeah.
Spending a lot of time on the expo floor like we all did. I mean, I think 1970 and I went to two or three sessions when y'all only went to one and didn't stay for the whole one. So like we all spent a lot of time on the expo floor talking to people. And we not just big people, like we talk to any podcast that seem like they would be interested. A lot of smaller ones that I'm going to put when I do a video on the whole, CrimeCon wrap up thing that I'll be showing and tagging. A lot of smaller ones showed a lot of interest too, which is awesome.
It's great.
Yeah, I actually gave a USB or flash drive to Shut Up Trisha as well, but I don't think that was the podcast that she was actually promoting there. But she seems really cool. So and then we had lots of people come up to our booth wanting to do things with us. I'm
probably not sharing.
Yeah, I'm not going to share everything, or I'm not going to share it, but there were a couple of instances where we got really, excited, not because of who it was or anything, but just the fact that people, valued what we were doing and wanted to collab with us. So
there's some really cool opportunities.
Yeah.
And, I think it's okay to be excited that some of them were bigger channels because of the fact that we want exposure for this information. They were, so, some of that, what we're not saying until it's, time to announce and later confirmed and stuff. It was some bigger channels. It was really heartening.
Yeah. Especially one that we actually, I had never even heard of them before, and I'm not going to say who they are, but they're pretty big. And, that we had a conversation, that was actually personal because the person actually is living in my hometown right now. And so I got to highlight Athena Hogan's case and Michelle Crawford's case, which was just such a blessing for me because I want so badly for those two cases to be solved. And I've actually, was it Friday on the way to CrimeCon, I talked to the detective in the Athena, the former detective in the Athena Hogan case. And he's going to connect me now again to the new detective who's in charge of that case. But
there's a lot of interesting developments in that situation. And we are pretty confident that we think we might have an idea of what might have happened. So we're hoping for justice for a cold case. And that's what matters most to us.
Yeah. And hopefully, we're on the right track. If we're not, it's at least one option that is ruled out. And so that's, all we can hope for is that we get somewhere with the case instead of it just being dormant for, it happened in 1986. So yeah. And thank you, Joy. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. So yeah, so that was our experience. I mean, we saw all kinds of people, walking around and stuff, but I'm really weird about like stopping people.
Yeah.
And especially like asking for pictures or anything like that. I'm really weird about it. I'm not sure why, but I just have this thing where I don't like doing it.
I don't like.
Well, I'm sorry, Laura. We started talking at the same time. I saw Stephanie Harlow once, but she was in the hallway and she'd like a circle of people had gathered around her. And, it really wasn't a meet and greet. She was trying to get somewhere, but she was being super polite and sweet and talking to everybody and taking pictures. But I didn't try to get in the circle because, like you said, Amber, it's not just social anxiety or awkwardness, it's politeness too. Whenever that's not a designated time for them to give to their public. So, but personally, I got recognized by a few subscribers and I was so excited. I loved it. Me and all. It was so fun.
I know. I was very shocked that people actually knew who we were. I was like, oh, wow.
We met some really cool people.
Yeah.
Awesome people.
And I know that we posted on our community tab, but I believe it was Lexi that had a very interesting shirt that said along the lines of Gypsy Rose is a dirty little liar. Now, I want to make it very clear that was her own shirt. We thought it was really funny, but we don't have it for sale. I think someone asked if it was for sale.
Yeah.
It was not,
She made that herself. Yeah, it was her personal deal she made. It was so cool.
She was
Cherokee girl. You don't have my autograph, but you have my emails. You're good.
That's sweet.
No. Yeah. And I saw Colby Ryan. I didn't stop him or anything. He's a lot taller than I thought he was. You saw Burke Ramsey, which
Yeah, I was
Was
very
a shock.
shocked. I was very shocked that he would be there.
Me too. Or
yeah.
and the dad. But
Yeah.
you know,
Made a little more sense to me, John Ramsey being there, because he's done a lot of active work in
Mhm.
the case. Not to say that Burke hasn't, just the only thing that I can think of relating to Burke in recent memory was the infamous Dr. Phil interview. And so
That was
I'm just
tough.
shocked that he would show up there. I'm not blaming him or accusing him of
No.
anything, but just a lot of people have. And so just the fact that he showed up there just surprised me.
I think it showed that he's serious, honestly, in my opinion, because I don't see somebody who, you know, is all wrapped up in actually being, you know, guilty or something like that, really, you know, like actively taking part and stuff like that. And his dad's going to pass away.
Mhm.
You know, he's old.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to have to take up that torch. And, you know, maybe
I'm
it's
not
Burke.
deep in that case, but I could see someone doing the activism as a cover.
True.
I don't know. I'm not going to definitively say what I believe, but I've always kind of side-eyed. So I don't know. I'm not making any accusations definitively against
Yeah.
him. No. I'm not informed enough, but it seems.
If you guys don't mind, I want to answer someone in the comments who
Yeah,
asked
go
if
ahead,
1970 enjoyed it. Yes, he did. He really didn't have a clue at first what it was going to be about. He
Mhm.
didn't quite get it. He was like, "So this is a podcaster convention?" I'm like, "Well, no, not exactly." And you know, told him about the big names that are there, the different things they do, the retired detectives and stuff like that. And he actually ended up talking to one of the booths that was run by an ex FBI
Mhm, yeah.
profiler and stuff like that, and bought several books and had a great time and was really impressed. And something that surprised both of us is, you know, we hoped obviously that it wouldn't be any, you know, glorifying crime and that type of thing. And I also understood with, like, what was it, 10,000 people attending?
I don't
But
even
It
know,
was
but
a
it felt like
lot.
it.
It was a lot.
yeah, I can't. I thought I read somewhere it was an average of like 10,000 bought tickets, but I can't remember. But there were thousands of people there, and you can't control what attendees do. There might be people who come who actually do like to glorify crime. But
Mhm.
as far as the people there, what really surprised us was how very many people had come and paid to set booths up that didn't really have even a podcast or anything to promote. They were victims or families of victims just trying to promote awareness of this particular missing person, get eyes on this case, that type of thing. There were a lot of people who aren't in the business. They were just victims and wanted attention on the case. And so they come and set up because of the podcasters that would be there to try and get more eyes on the crime that affected them and victimized them or their families.
Yeah, we actually met a really amazing woman. Her name is
Mhm.
Maggie, and her daughter, unfortunately, was killed in Tulsa, Brittany Phillips. And we're going to be connecting with her because she's amazing.
I believe
And
I talked to her too. Yes.
yeah, she came. She was
was
kind of
so
like
kind.
our mom, or our you know, she was taking care of us and making sure that, you know, we knew what was going on, and she was just amazing. And so yeah, I really want to help her solve
Mhm.
that case. So, and there's many more out there that we met like that and ran into some really impressive people. I mean,
Yes.
from so the booth was military broadcast radio. So I was selling military broadcast radio, trying to get everybody to understand what MBR is. And we teach veterans how to podcast, DJ, and game, and we're getting into adaptive animation. And so we had this long table. Half of it was MBR and half of it was Into the Weeds. But I didn't realize I was setting it up this way, but it was actually really good because it was a prime example of what military broadcast can do, or military broadcast radio can do is I told everybody what we do, and then I showed them what I learned to do through MBR. And
MBR
so
taught you Into the Weeds is your product result.
Yes, yeah, and so I didn't even set it up that way. I didn't even think about it, but yesterday when I was talking to my cousin, the one who's in prison, I was telling her about it, and I was like, and it just flowed so well that I was like, and I am a host on MBR, and my show is Into the Weeds podcast. And then I told him I talk about cold cases and missing people. And then we've gone down a rabbit hole on Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And then I would see where they were going to go. Did they want to talk about MBR? Did they want to talk about the missing people, the cold cases, or Gypsy Rose? And so depending on how they reacted, I would go whichever way I felt like they were leading me towards. And then if they didn't seem receptive to MBR, I would just talk about what I was talking about on my show. And if they didn't seem receptive to what I was talking about on my show, I concentrated more on MBR.
Mm-hmm.
And your husband was back there, cutting up with Lucas and helping, and he's a veteran too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. There was, I think, one lady who come up and was initially supportive. Whenever she saw Gypsy's picture on the folder of FOIA printouts, she said, "Oh, I don't think she should have ever been in prison." And I said,
remember that one.
Yeah. And I said, "Really?" I said, "We kind of think she still should be after the rabbit hole we went down." And she goes, "Oh, really? Tell me more." And I was like, "Well, these are FOIA documents. These are her prison emails." I was like, "Now, some people feel like that's an invasion of privacy. We feel like murderers don't get privacy. Just is how it is." And she was like, "I respect that." And then she was all interested in the information, and she took both of our cards. And that was the most supportive person we came across.
I know. I was completely shocked.
Some girl around my age came over with her sister and her mother, and they're like, "She's the original Gypsy Rose hater." And I'm like, "Now listen, I'm not calling myself a hater, but I just thought it was funny that she's like, yeah, I'm the OG hater." I was like, "Oh,
That's so funny."
there you go. There you go."
Many people
Very
said,
upset.
yeah, they said, I always thought she was a scam artist from the beginning, and a lot of people asked, well, why are you talking about this? And so I told them, my cousin is incarcerated in the same prison that Gypsy Rose Blanchard was incarcerated for 8.5 years. And my cousin is incarcerated for 25 years for methamphetamine. And everybody's jaws just drop, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh," And even Mike King, when I was telling him that, he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." And I was like, "You know what? It's all good, because she's where she needs to be. She's changing that prison from the inside out, and God's got her exactly where he wants her. I mean, she's just thriving and doing so well for herself and for the women in there that, yes, it led me down the Gypsy Rose path, but she's exactly where she needs to be right now. And I'm very confident in saying that, and she can, and she is too."
Yeah.
Taking advantage of all the options like that. She's the type of prisoner that makes you happy that they have the kind of options that Gypsy just squandered getting, spray tans and femdoming old people, whatever.
Yeah, right. Right. And I was telling her about all the stuff that, we did and heard, and she was like, "Amber, 2 years ago, we were talking about this, and it was like a pipe dream of, just informing people of these things, not about Gypsy, but other things too that I talk about." And, it was just an answer to prayer, in my opinion, because, it's gone so well. And it's because, I'm doing it for the right reasons. I'm doing it for cognitive therapy, to get myself back on track. And I'm just enjoying it. And so I thank everybody who's been on the ride with me, and Millennial, for you to just hang out with us and support us like you do. That's amazing. And thank you for it.
Oh, well, yeah, we had a great time, and thank you, because, when you're at CrimeCon, being behind a table makes you more official. It gets you more attention, more opportunities to talk to people. And I didn't pay for a table there. I decided to go at the very last minute, and y'all generously just immediately invited me in 1970 behind your table, legitimized us, had us working with you, talking to people, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for coming along.
Yeah,
I felt like we were able to get a lot of stuff out. You're the only one who can remember the damn micro
I
deletion.
know.
Allura eventually, like, she would be talking to someone and give her spill, and eventually she would just turn to me when she got to 1Q21.1. Say that and then go back to my conversation.
Exactly. I did the same thing.
I'm so sorry for using and abusing you on that one, but
It's quite all right. It was just
remember
funny.
Yeah, numbers just fly out of my mind. So
There
yeah,
was even a lady that was there that's brother had a micro deletion.
I thought there was one that had a daughter.
No.
Oh, brother. Okay.
Brother who had a micro deletion. And I was like, damn it, I wish that Millennial was here because she asked me which one it was. I was like Q101.2 point something like that.
I
Yeah.
should have made you a note, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. We think of everything now.
Yeah, and I gave her my information and want her to reach out. So if you're listening, please reach out because I would like to have an honest conversation with you about what your brother actually experienced with that or does experience now with that.
Absolutely.
Just to be educated, and know a little bit more about that disorder.
How it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of people don't know it's like in the same kind of family as Down syndrome. It's just instead of having an extra chromosome, you have a little less of one, and
Yeah, I have no
it manifests in different ways. That's not me making any kind of statement about either thing, but
No,
that's something
yeah.
that she specifically pointed out. She's like, yeah, a lot of people don't know that, and I was like, yeah, I mean that's fair. So
Yeah,
very
and
interesting.
yeah, and I want everybody to know. I know that some people were worried about the flyers that I printed up being what is it called?
Not great.
Yeah, not great. But you know what? I used those, and I especially used the one where she talks about sacrificing her daughter's virginity to Nicholas. I used that as the point to, I went through the micro deletion. I went through everything. And then I said, hey, this is why we still talk about this.
This is why we worry about her having a daughter.
Yeah, why we worry about her having a daughter and why we just worry about her in general, because somebody who is thinking like that is probably not safe to be out there just doing the most.
Yeah.
Definitely not safe to be influencing teenagers on OME TV and TikTok and Lifetime.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the flyers or whatever, at least any flyer that I handed out, I kind of went over and explained everything, and then I just kind of pointed out a couple things that were on the flyer just to kind of back it up because it's in writing. I will say that font is a little hard to read though.
Yeah,
but you did a good job.
It was
your
all
first time
me.
doing it. I was no help to her as per usual. You did a good job. I love you.
Well, thank you.
Amber asked me to help her with a few things, and then I decided I would just go, and then I didn't help with the things she specifically asked because I showed up in person. I was busy packing and planning that.
Yeah, glad that you showed up though. It really helped.
Yeah, it did help because and having you there as somebody who actually witnessed the fraud and the manipulation,
in real time.
Yeah, in real time, seeing your friends and family affected by that.
Yeah.
I think that really cemented, that this is real, that this isn't just talking points or this isn't just some obsession that we have. It's more just we want the information to be, we want the narrative to be changed. We want the real truth out there.
Definitely.
Yeah, a lot of people, whenever, some people did ask me straight up, why are you interested in this? Why are you talking about it? This is particularly so passionately. And I told them, like I always tell y'all, about my friends and family in Aurora and everything, Aurora, Missouri and Southwest Missouri. And it was always just a total light switch on in their eyes of, oh, this means something to you. And I told a lot of people about our donations and stuff that we do. And it really seemed like we caused a lot of people to get interested in the real story because there were people constantly stopping by the booth and talking to us about this. Amber and Alora's voices were scratching because I took breaks for a few more sessions than they did.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a long weekend.
Yeah, from basically Laura and I basically got there around 8:30 every morning and left anywhere from 5 to 6 the booth, except for Sunday, that shut down early.
It was a little early,
But Friday and
Still a lot.
Saturday we were there, and then we were there Thursday setting up and talking to all of the exhibitors and stuff like that too. So yeah, we were all talked out.
Yeah.
Days.
There were, let me grab my note real quick. Some people in the comments were asking if Melissa Moore, Fancy, a few other people from the Gyp First were there. We didn't see anyone at all or hear of anyone being there from the Gyp First except some subscribers and supporters who we met and were awesome.
I heard of one that was supposed to be there, but I didn't see the person, so I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, and I didn't see Melissa Moore. I figured that there would be somebody from her camp there to accept an award if they happened to get it. I didn't think they would, but just in case. Thank you, 1970.
No, you rock 1970s. We were just talking shit in a bar for a while.
Oh yeah, we all went to a steakhouse bar at the convention center, and the four of us, and had a drink, had some food, and just chilled afterwards.
Those drinks were strong and they were good.
They were
really good.
Yeah, they were good. They were good. So was the food. The pork belly was really delicious.
Yeah. And we're gonna do it next year, I think. I'm still contemplating whether I want to get a booth or not. I don't like I like the fact that MBR got the exposure. I think if anything, if the Athena Hogan case goes anywhere, I might have a booth to talk about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm down for anything. I still think it would just be fun to go and experience and see what's going on then, meet some more people. And I thought it was overall a positive experience. I did find some of the merch was a little like true crime is cutesy, and that kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that, but I don't think anything was with an ill intent.
Yeah, it wasn't like they had serial killers on the merch or anything.
No.
But,
Yeah.
a few people had like I can't remember what it even said, but
I'm too afraid to quote anything to accidentally call out someone in specific.
Yeah, right.
But
1970 says he was essentially kidnapped to CrimeCon.
he was essentially kidnapped, and then we made him drive us around.
Wow.
Essentially kidnapped. Well, at least it was by a member of the media. No. We saw like a media room, and we were like, "Oh, we need to make like a little video of that."
We were going to do that. I forgot that we were.
I'm a member of the media. You're not a member of the media. You're Sarah. There were quite a few people that actually brought up Fancy on their own. It was not us.
Yes.
And
no one had anything positive to say.
No.
Surprise.
Oh my god, he could have done a chest bump video.
So I guess we can talk about it now since the deadline has passed.
Oh.
But Fancy sent Military Broadcast Radio a cease and desist for me last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, something like that. And we had until September the 2nd to respond. The MBR lawyer looked it over, and he said ignore it because there was no
legitimacy behind it.
Yeah, it wasn't a legitimate cease and desist. There were no bar numbers for a lawyer or anything like that, and it was done with Chat GPT. You could tell.
She also misspelled your last name.
Yeah,
she misspelled your last name.
The Chat GPT prompt.
What?
The subject of the email was her Chat GPT prompt.
Yes. Yeah, and
she also used my online name, Alora Flowers. That's my mom's maiden name. I use it, but she could have done 2 seconds of thinking and put in my real name. And she also, the thing that she mainly tried to get you for was you discrediting or questioning her military service. And Fancy, if you're watching this, because I know you have like your people watch this for you, even if you're too lazy to do it yourself. We've never questioned your military record. I know a lot of people have. it's not up to us to really kind of decide if that's true or not. Do we think there's some weird inconsistencies? Probably, but that's just because you can't tell a story straight to save your life. But I really believe that you were in the military. So for all that it's worth.
And I have done a lot in the background trying to tell people that I'm not going to ever try to comment on it, because I know in the military that not everybody's service experience is the same. And some of the things that I've heard her say could very well, in fact, be true. And I have gone through some of that. So, according to her, she was in a med hold situation. I was in a med hold situation. So I know how it goes. So in the background, unbeknownst to Fancy, I
She's
was
been defending
actually
her.
defending her. And she thought that it was a good idea then to attack me and tell me to quit defending her, I guess.
So I guess we're not defending you anymore, except for this by saying, hey, Fancy, I think you did something in the military. That's it. I'm leaving it there. But we did tell another one of the creators that were there about the cease and desist. Actually, we only told her because she told us that she framed your cease and desist. And I'm not going to tell you who that was. And you're just going to have to you're going to have to rack through your brain on all the people that you've ever sent a fucking cease and desist to.
Yeah,
There you go.
someone found it quite hilarious that Fancy put a cease and desist to me on TikTok to 1980.
Yeah, it's 1980. That's legally binding.
Mhm.
You know, and I hate to like trash her or whatever, but she's her own worst enemy. And,
Oh yeah.
you know, and I wasn't going to say anything, but
A lot of people that haven't looked like bigger names and stuff that haven't looked into it have not looked into it because they don't take you seriously, Fancy.
Yeah, that Fancy has harmed the cause of actually exposing Gypsy Rose so much with her meltdown behavior constantly that a lot of people who have had curiosity about the other side dip their toe in, they find Fancy, and they're just like, oh, never freaking mind if that's how it is.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why, you know, I went off on a rampage campaign of exposing Fancy like I did last year. Is probably most everybody in the chat knows the only reason all those videos are privated is because Fancy tried to get my channel taken down.
Mm-hmm.
and to get your name, your identity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she tried to get that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we're not going to keep trashing her all the time on the podcast unless it's a little stupid thing here or there that she does. But I mean, you're kind of getting old. You're kind of getting old and boring, Fancy. Like, nobody really cares. Just give it up. Go live your life. Do your thing. And stop crying on the internet. It's not you.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
I feel bad for her just because that's who I am, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Clearly, you have some things that
don't.
need to be addressed. Yeah, I don't really give a shit, to be honest. The day that you wrote a letter to the judge asking for us to be arrested is the day that any and all sympathy that I potentially held for you went out the window. So,
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have a sympathetic heart to everybody.
I mean, I don't hope that anything bad happens to her.
No, but
That's as far as I'll
yeah.
take it.
Yeah. But anyways, so I just wanted to bring that up since it did come up at CrimeCon, and you know, so people, if anybody heard me talk about it or anything, I just wanted to let you guys know that did happen. And I'm not trying to keep secrets from anybody, but I just didn't know how to address it or what to say, and I waited until the September 2nd deadline was for us to respond.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joy. And also, yeah, something else I want to say is I fully believe that Gypsy's baby is real.
Yeah.
If she's not, then you know, I'll eat crow. But I think that people continuing to fuel that, and like, especially in conversation with like normies, to say
Mhm.
it's gonna drive more people away from even wanting to listen to anything about Gypsy. So I'm gonna just say that I don't think anyone has bad intentions for the most part that's saying that, and I can understand why some people might think that, but I don't think it's really helpful.
Mhm. Yeah, it's kind of like with Meghan Markle. You know, she's always questioned about the legitimacy of her children. Now, I will say that it's a lot of odd stuff that goes around her children and everything, but I would never sit here and say that they're not real or whatever.
I mean, if anything, Aurora might be like a month or so older than we think. But
Thank you, Joy.
that's about as far as all.
I think they definitely fudged the birth dates. I don't think that the birth date is the real one announced. I think they're trying to keep that hidden so
Mhm.
that legal documents can't so easily be requested as they can when you have the exact birth date of someone.
I agree. And thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle.
Okay. I I was having a
How
hard
else
time.
would you pronounce that? Yeah. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah. Oh, where was I going with that? What did you just say?
We were talking about
I said I think they fudged the birth date so that
Yeah.
people can't so easily request legal documents as you can if you have someone's birthday.
Yeah, I have always thought that the
Agree.
birth date is off
Mhm.
from what they've told us, just because of the fact that on June the 5th, during that Chillicothe incident with Fancy and Sarah, I was called on the phone to tell me, my cousin told me from the prison that one of Gypsy's friends had shown the sonogram in their class and that she was pregnant. And so, I kept it under wraps for a little bit, told a couple people, it got out, but I've always thought that they fudged the date somehow, because by June the 5th, they had already gotten a sonogram.
Yeah.
Usually you get a sonogram around the 4th month, your first one. It could be different now, since they got all the 3D stuff and all that, but when I was having my children, it was usually around the 4-month mark that you start getting sonograms and actually see the baby and, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The only reason I think the baby is absolutely real is because I don't think any of the Blanchards or people surrounding them are capable of keeping that big of a secret for that long.
Misbehaving, I see you said that's not true. Into the weeds, I'm not sure what you're talking about. But usually 5 to 6 weeks. Okay. When I was pregnant, they always did it at 4 months. So I don't know.
I've never had a child and I'm not planning on it, so I don't have stake in the game.
Yeah.
Also, Fancy said she
Yeah.
she was just mad that didn't get enough sleep that night and things didn't go her way. So she decided that, hey, how can I make myself look better? Make other people look worse.
Mhm.
And nobody bought it. So if you still buy Fancy's bullshit, then I don't know what that says about you, but
Mind the gap. Also, Fancy did do that. She said that she went to the Air Force where the smart people went, as if everyone else is dumb, and that she was too intelligent to be with the grunts. And
I'm just kidding.
It's funny that people say that.
Amber's an Army vet, so yeah.
Yeah, it's funny people say that, but I'm noticing just in the 26 years that I've been a veteran at the VA and now my work with military broadcast radio, that while yes, the initial like getting in, you're supposed to look good on paper, but the people who actually go in and do that, who stand on that, oh, we're smarter, they usually really aren't. They're just very arrogant. And so that's all I'm going to say about that.
I totally agree.
So, yeah, anyways, but yeah, so that was, I'm glad you brought that up though, because I've thought about this for a while, her baby and everything, and I don't really like talking about the baby except for that, I'm concerned, but that's it. I don't want to know anything about the baby, but I believe that it's real, and so yeah, I'm just gonna make that statement right now. I believe that the baby's real.
Yeah, I believe she's real as well, and we hope the best for her. No matter what, we need to keep her out of it. The shit that her mom does and her dad does and all the people surrounding, I mean, that has nothing to do with her. So
Yeah, and yeah.
It's complicated. Sorry, I kind of just threw that out there without consulting you about it
No,
first,
you're
but-
fine. And there's something also that I'd like to talk about. Now, there is no evidence that Gypsy Rose had cancer of any kind, right? There's no evidence that we have.
Not that I'm aware of, and that Belle was on a boat.
Yes.
Yeah, even I know Ashley Baby made a mistake. She's new
Mhm.
to the case. It happens. She speaks very confidently, and it got ran with, but she put out a retraction
Yes, she
because
did.
that had already been debunked before she put that out.
Yeah. And so where I was going with the cancer thing is I may be wrong, but I genuinely think that someday we're going to find out that she had some type of cancer or some type of um, issues where they were looking at her for cancer. So, like I
Yeah,
had
but
talked
it could be
about,
possible.
yeah, I had talked about how, it's hard to get diagnoses, right? And I've been diagnosed or told that I have certain things. And one of them was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And that was back 23 years ago. No, 20 years ago, because it was after my son was born. They had done all these workups on me, and they had, they thought I had some weird Mediterranean disease that they were going to write all these papers about, and they were high-fiving each other, and they were like, you got this, and we're going to write all these papers, and it's going to be awesome, and we're going to be famous. Because I go to teaching hospitals at the VA. The VA are usually teaching hospitals. So they're very focused on finding new things or writing things up and things like that. And so for a while, I thought I had this Mediterranean disease. And then they're like, okay, no, now we think you have non-Hodgkin's. So they put me through a bunch of tests. I had 2 bone marrow biopsies in the same day, and it ended up going horribly wrong. And I had a bunch of consequences from that, and bad reactions from that. But there for a while, I was told, you have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. We're just doing the workup, the proper workup that we need to do, but we're very confident that you have that. So I may have said I was diagnosed with it. I was told, you have this, okay? And so I would be told for months that I had this thing or this thing, and I would go and tell everybody, well, this is what the doctors are saying I have,
Yeah.
And I think that if she didn't have cancer, she probably had a workup like that, and
That's
something happened, and she just went and told everybody about it.
That's very, very possible. I'm sure every time a workup was done, Dee Dee would extensively document it for donations.
Yeah, because I mean, like for me, like I said, I've been sick my whole life. I was born with a hole in my heart. I had to have a open heart surgery at the age of 4, and I've been sick my whole life. And they've been trying to figure it out, and so many times I've been told that it's this thing or that thing, and I will, for months, even years, think that that is something that I have, and then they'll do a whole new workup on me and say, no, that is not what you have. We don't know what you have, and we're going to try this and this and this. So right now they're on a new one. They think I have Ehlers-Danlos. So we'll see.
Do
Yeah.
your joints pop out?
Yeah, I have
Stuff like that?
hypermobility. I definitely have hypermobility.
Because my cousin has Ehlers-Danlos, and
Yes.
it's like pretty severe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with POTS sometimes. I don't think I have it at all, but a lot of people I know with POTS have that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so yeah, it's just hard to get a diagnosis, and sometimes you will get one, or the doctor will tell you this is what you got, and then you don't have it, and then it's like a whole nother letdown. It's like, oh well, I don't have that, so what is wrong with me? And then you got to go to the next specialist, and the VA is really good about sending you from one doctor to the next, saying, oh, that's not my problem, I don't know what that is,
Well,
and yeah.
some doctors will guess, but speak very definitively. And, sometimes they can do that, go with overboard research, or do that with being dismissive. Like what I shared on the Slacker show when we were on there, and the, years long journey to get to my POTS diagnosis. And I wasn't trying to get a diagnosis. I just kept getting 911 called whenever I'd faint in public. And, and I kept ending up in the ER via ambulance from fainting in public, and then I'd be okay. And POTS wasn't well known in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I had a doctor one time who just got really frustrated at me fainting out of my chair again, and said, "Listen, you're just one of those Hollywood blonde types that faints easily. That's it.
Yeah, that's
Basically,
terrible.
get out of here." And there are doctors who will just definitively say to you, this is what it is. And sometimes that can be in the context of them thinking they've got an extensive diagnosis or in dismissiveness, but they can be so wrong, just like content creators. They can feel very, very sure and be totally wrong.
Yes, that is totally true. And I had something like POTS. It's SVT, and so my heart rate would go up to like 220 or higher, and they would either have to press a pressure point in my neck. That worked at first, and then it stopped working. So then they'd have to actually give me a shot where they'd have to actually restart my heart. Oh, that was so painful. And so I know what it feels like when you're just passing out for no reason,
Yeah.
and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So yeah, it's
Well, and
scary.
it scares people around whenever it happens in public. That's why I am never at all embarrassed to just sit down on the floor in public if I need to, like I did in a line for the Mike King meet and greet, because if I faint in public, I know from experience when I come back to, people are not going to believe me that I'm okay and cancel the 911 call.
I know.
They're going to assume that, I don't know what I'm talking about because I just had a horrific medical experience when I'm actually used to fainting. But it's so shocking and scaring for people around. And that's not saying that they're doing anything wrong. They're concerned, and that's a wonderful thing. But it's when it is a common thing, but yeah, you just do everything in the world you can to avoid fainting in public, because you're not going to be believed whenever you wake up and say, I'm actually okay.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I'm not okay afterwards. In the sense that, like, I feel like I'm, that's another thing that terrifies people. Sometimes my fainting comes along with non-seizure convulsions, so I look like I'm dying in a seizure, and it exhausts me. Like my muscles are totally worn out from convulsing, but I'm okay. Like I come out of it, and then everything starts stabilizing. And I don't need to go to the hospital or anything. I just need to sit and drink Gatorade.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's embarrassing too.
Yes, it totally is. Way less embarrassing to just sit on the floor, act like a goofball, joke around with it. Sorry, I choked a little bit. Just took a drink. Joke around with everybody about it. Don't faint.
Exactly. So Michelle's asking, what was it where they took a bone scraping from her leg? Was that for cancer? I don't remember a bone scraping, but I do remember a muscle biopsy.
Yeah, I don't remember a bone scraping either. I'll have to do some digging and see if that's just something I forgot. Sometimes we've went so deep in this case for so long that the details start kind of mushing out of my brain from overload.
Does anybody else have the medical documents other than she who must not be named?
Well, she's the one who got them, and she's disseminated them. So
Are they on her Patreon?
yeah,
There's not a sort. All of them on the internet are sourced from her, I believe.
But they're on, like, we can look at them. Like, we don't have to, like.
But honestly, I'm just going to be real. Anything coming from her,
You question?
I question only because
I mean, she was right about the microdeletion.
So the yes, okay, so I get that, but maybe she's not that calculating. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes she inserts things or tries to get people to look one way. I don't know.
I understand a general distrust of her. However, I will say that, I mean, not everything she's put out has been
Well, I
bullshit.
don't think that the medical records are BS or a
Mhm.
lie. What I think is I don't know, does she have more? Did she, is she not giving us certain things? I don't
She
know.
also might not have all the medical records. I'm sure Christy didn't give her everything.
No, she didn't get them all. No.
So
No. I don't know. That was just me
Yeah, I think the
thinking out
records
loud.
I think the records that she put out are real and correct. I don't always agree with her interpretations of them at all. But whether or not that's everything that there is, I don't know. I feel like the reason why I feel like they're not doctored is because she put them out, if I remember, when she was still with the Blanchards, wasn't she? For part of her project?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember. Oh well.
Well, she was in the beginning, she was with them, and then she says once she saw that interview is when they started.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I probably should have just kept that to myself. I don't know.
Hey, no
Toxic
worries.
Barbie in the comments has a great point. Never rule out anything in this case. And that is the damn truth, because I thought, oh, surely that's just got to be a rumor. Whenever we heard early on that Gypsy was tricking men for money through email from prison, I was like, what? But I mean, I don't know prison dynamics. I had no clue how common that was, but we found out from the email that is totally true.
Yeah.
We found out so much from the email that I thought was way out there and outlandish that, yeah, we know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, the medical records are everywhere. I guess where I was going with that is that I'm so leery about everything she does anymore, that I wonder what she has access to, what she hasn't let people know, or what she hasn't even looked at herself. Maybe that's more. Like, is there stuff out there that she's got that she hasn't even really looked at yet?
Well, she didn't even discover any of that stuff. She had all of her people discover it
That's
for
true.
her. And it
That's
was only
true.
after people started getting pissed off at her, or she had a falling out with the Blanchards, that she really, really pushed it. She might have looked
Yeah.
into it a little bit, but she didn't push it until she had a personal vendetta.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
What she's willing to ignore or look over is really just dependent on what's convenient to her at that specific moment. Not even like in the future, just like whatever is easiest for her to get out of shit right then and there.
Yeah, so her life rights, that's just to tell her story. She definitely doesn't have rights to get any of Gypsy's medical documents or anything like that.
That was just Christy.
Yeah.
I
So
think
the life
that rights, that bullshit contract that Fancy had is why she feels like she can try and gatekeep this case and be mad at us that we went to CrimeCon and talked about it, kind of thing, that we get credit for the work that we do on it. Everybody is always wonderful to credit us because I think because we don't act that way,
Yeah, I'm honestly here just to learn with you guys. Honestly, that's who I am. I'm learning with you guys. I'm learning as I go, and just everything that I've found out on this journey is just blowing my mind. And I'm just like, it's like you hear about these cases that happen, and most of us don't get like an inside scoop or an inside view into like that person's actual mind or how they operate. But with this case, we've got her emails that actually show like what she's thinking and how she talks to people and everything. And I'm just blown away. And thank you, Mandy, so much for giving those to us, because
Thank you, Mandy.
it is a huge thing, to be able to have this kind of insight on a criminal like this and to use it for further study, in my opinion. I think that one day somebody's going to take these emails and do a research project on it, looking at the criminal mind.
Also,
Mhm.
Blue, there's no way she would have been able, even if she would have been able to pull the strings to get the booth and pay for it and all that stuff. One, she'd be scam crowdfunding for it. She probably wouldn't ever end up even going. And if she should, or if she did actually end up showing up to the thing, she would end up getting kicked out because she'd act like a fool.
Well, there are so many people there that do not like her, and we were told over and over and over
By
again.
so many people.
And we're not talking small creators. We're talking
No.
about big time people who want
Big
absolutely
people.
nothing to do with her.
Big people, some of them who were initially afraid that we were Gypsy supporters, when they realized we were anti-Gypsy, they were like, "You're not with Fancy, are you?" And we're like, "No, no, no."
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I have to respectfully disagree on this. I do not think that Fancy is a good person by the way that she's treated us when
Yeah.
my mom did nothing but try to help her.
Yeah.
And no, she's just, I'm sorry, she's trash.
So
And I don't say that about a lot of people.
Amanda says she would love a new documentary from all the evidence that's available. Yeah, I'm actually, the reason I'm collecting all of this is for historical preservation. And so I think that if a real, documentarian or somebody that really, a researcher or something that wants a good documentary that they can actually sink their teeth into and actually like pull out facts and stuff, this is one of the cases that you can actually do that in, where you have everything except for Nicholas's file. And I just wonder what's going to be in that file, because when I asked the records person in Greene County about the file, I told her, I said, I don't want repeats. I don't want the same stuff that I got in the Gypsy file. And she said, no, this is all new stuff. This is all different stuff than you've gotten. So I wonder what's going to be in there. Yeah. I was thinking about that when I was talking to people about the case. It's like, we know so much, but we're going to know even more once his legal options are exhausted.
Ms. Behaven's actually asking what file. You're talking about the FOIA request on Nick that is on pause until his current habeas corpus option and everything going on is completely exhausted.
Yes, correct. So I have asked for that, but I've been told, not to really talk about him or to go over any of the evidence about him until his legal options are exhausted. I will not get his emails, misbehaving. I feel like that's too much.
Yeah, he's still in prison. And
he's already been victimized enough. Gypsy is a different thing. Gypsy is somebody who's out there living her life and influencing people. So profiting. So I believe that was okay, but I don't think it's okay to go look at his emails or anything.
Not Miss Fancy Pants. There's a cool person named Miss Fancy Pants.
Not Miss Fancy Pants.
But yeah, she did. She did. Sorry, I thought that was funny.
Fancy the essentially kidnapped.
Yes, and we watched that whole thing go down. So yeah,
that was so interesting though. Honestly, I wouldn't give it up for the world, because that is like the freaking. I'm sorry, that was so funny. It was funny. It was hilarious. Looking back on it, at the time, it was not funny. I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah, but we're working on something else. So it's going to go well. I already know it because I'm going to be in charge of it. So we're going to be interviewing people in Springfield. Ashley Baby and I are going to go out there, and it's going to be a whole professional setup. And I'm going to release an ad in the Springfield newspaper tomorrow. So I'll share that when it comes out. But yeah, I actually want to know more about Dee Dee. And so when Ashley started saying she wanted to go to Springfield, I was like, you know what? I'm here, and I know Springfield a little bit. You know, I've spent quite a bit of time there, and I know the people of Missouri and how they act, and so I think that it, yeah, I think it'll go good.
And I'll be working, so I took off 2 weeks for this.
I'm a little nervous, you know, just because of the whole thing with Fancy, but it's going to go good, and I think that, yeah, I'm excited about it because I actually want to know about Dee Dee. I don't want to know about Gypsy. So what we're going to do is go to Springfield and just set up, and if anybody wants to come to us and talk to us, they can. If they don't, they don't. You know, and I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to seek out any interviews or anything like that. I'm just going to let them come to me if they want to. So I think that's a better way to handle it.
That's a good way to handle it. It would be upsetting if the people of Springfield felt bombarded
Mhm.
and forced to talk about it. But
Mhm.
that way, if they want to, they can come talk.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like that was the best option and the way to do it in a way that we are not intruding on people and we are not making them feel like they have to talk about something. I want them to come and talk to us because they want to.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be up to in a few days. So I will keep you posted on that. Millennial or Laura, do you guys want to cover anything else before we go?
I was trying to think, but not particularly. We just had a really good time at CrimeCon overall. It was really cool meeting a lot of cool people. And I said, take a shot every time I say cool. But it was a good time. It was a good time. And I got to meet Millennial too, which was awesome.
Yeah, misbehaving. So Nicholas has a whole file of his own. Gypsy Rose had a whole file of her own at Greene County.
Mhm.
Nicholas has his own. Dee Dee had her own. Okay, so we requested the files on Nicholas specifically. Have no idea what they contain. Have no idea.
His
All I
Department
know,
of Correction files.
we've already gotten his DOC files, so those are already in the Google Drive. We have not gotten the files from Greene County Sheriff's Department.
That's the one that you're waiting for, Greene County Sheriff's Department.
Correct, and that will have all of the stuff to build the case.
Oh, Flower Power 1961. She's in the chat. Dee Dee Memorial Garden is amazing right now. She's the one who you and I showed her rose garden. She made memorial gardens for Dee Dee and for Stephanie Goldhammer.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing that because they are both victims.
Yes.
Also, Ivana Ice-T was there. We think we might have seen him. I don't know. He didn't.
I
look
saw
like
him. She didn't think it was him. It was him.
Okay, I guess it was him. He was sitting on the couch though, like on a
didn't see him.
FaceTime. We weren't gonna bother him. He was literally intentionally like out of the way. So we're like, we're not gonna say anything to him.
Yeah, we were up on an upper floor and he just happened to be tucked away and we walked past him. I was like, oh, that's Ice-T. Laura's like, oh, that doesn't look like him. It was him.
I didn't want to like stare at him, you know.
The only event he was at was for the platinum and gold or whatever badges, and those were all sold out before any of us decided to go. So we didn't have the opportunity to get those.
Yeah, and he didn't have a booth like we were told. So
yeah,
but that's all right.
Misunderstood.
That's all right. And you know, it was cool. It was cool, and I'm glad that we all went and that we learned something and that it was a positive experience instead of a negative experience. You know, sometimes we experience things and have nothing but bad things to say about it. And that is not the case with CrimeCon. So I'm very happy and pleased to report that.
Yeah. Only bad things I'd have to say is I wish that they put a little bit more care in who they associated with, whether it be Gypsy or, you know, there are some other people as well.
Oh, and then the lack of security.
No security.
They didn't check bags at all.
No,
they didn't check bags or no metal detectors or anything. And I just feel like Aurora has already had so many crazy things happen.
Aurora, Colorado.
Mhm.
Yeah, Aurora,
That's
Colorado.
the
Yeah.
suburb of Denver we were in.
Aurora, Missouri, and not
Yeah.
Gypsy's daughter. But yeah, there's already been so many crazy things that have happened there. So you just think like anything could have happened. So
Yeah.
that's a critique.
Yeah, that was
Um,
the only things that I really saw. And other than, I mean, well, no, all conventions have the, VIP and galas and stuff like
that
that.
didn't bother me.
No. And I'm just not one to go to those things. So, yeah, I highly doubt I'll ever will. But if I ever get invited, I may go, but I'm not going to like
Go
spend
out
my
of your
money
way.
to do
I
anything like
honestly
that.
would have went had they been available. I'll just
Yeah.
be honest.
No, you're good.
I was interested in the award type thing just to see what was going on, but I didn't
Yeah.
feel the need to sit and
Um,
drink cocktails with Nancy Grace or any, you know what I mean?
Ivona Live for Love, there were security guards there. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't there that there was no security. It just really surprised us that they didn't do any sort of bag check with all the bags people brought in, and that there metal detectors or anything. That felt a little strange for CrimeCon, but yeah, overall there were no problems. So, and there were uniformed police officers and security guards all both there that we saw all over the place, and there were no issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joy, we did see Nate Eaton. He was around, but I never talked to him. I saw so many people. Lauren Mathias, Chris McDonough, lots of people I just can't think of right now. So yeah, it was a full house. All the true crime people were all in the same place together. So it was very
It
interesting.
was very
I
interesting.
would guess, what would you guess? I would guess that at least this is probably a high percentage guess, but I would guess that about 40% of the booths there were of victims' families or associates or whatever, trying to bring attention to a missing person or a specific case that they're looking for answers on. Like, it was really shocking to me how many were there, and I tried to take as many photos and as many flyers and stuff, information from all of them as I could, and talk to them about their cases for future videos, because you really feel different when you talk to someone involved than you do just reading it.
Yeah. No, and
that's why
Maggie, Brittany Phillips' mother,
Yes.
that she really touched us. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out to her today and see if she can come on. And hopefully we can, we're going to have a lot of content, I think, from this eventually. Some of it may take a while.
Yeah, some things are expected towards the end of this year / beginning of next year.
Yeah.
But there's some cool people that wanted to talk to us, so
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be. And so I thank everybody for, just believing in us, that we could do this, and supporting us, and just, being here to come along the journey with us. Thank you.
Yes, y'all have been so supportive, and we appreciate it so much.
So I guess we're going to say goodbye for today, but we will be back Saturday. I'm not sure who's going to be our guest yet or what our topic is going to be, but we have lots of options.
Yeah.
So I hope that everybody has an extremely blessed day, and that you go out and do something awesome to change the world for the better.
I'm going to take
Have
a
a
nap.
fun day, y'all.
Bye, everyone. Have a good
Bye,
night.
everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.